This is me, it's Queen Oseteru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Now, I got a message from someone who asked me, are certain signs more prone to being into astrology and metaphysics than other signs? And it is very true. If you look at somebody's chart, you can see if they're interested in psychic abilities, paganism, that kind of stuff comes up. Astrology, you can look and you can see it in their chart. It's in different areas, especially in their sun sign, but it's in different houses as well. So if you really do somebody's chart, you can see if they would be interested in this type of thing. Now, one thing I can tell you, I know some people, like just from informal conversations, I can tell you some people that are more likely to be interested in metaphysics, astrology, etc., numerology, that kind of thing. And I would say, first and foremost, let's go with Aquarius. Aquarius is very interested in this type of thing. If there's an Aquarius who's not interested in this type of thing, the first thing I'm like, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? Usually something went on with nature versus nurture. So like the one Aquarius that I know who's not into this kind of thing was raised in a very Christian household, and she was told that everything is the devil. Everything is the devil. Everything. Doing yoga is the devil. Meditating is the devil. Everything is the devil. Astrology is the devil. So she's scared. Period, point blank. Her nurture has her terrified. A lot of people who grew up in these fire and brimstone kind of situations are terrified of living because they've been told that everything is the devil. So the one person that I can think of that I know is an Aquarius, and she's very scared of this kind of thing, and she doesn't even realize that she's scared. She just like kind of brushes it off like it's, you know, all hocus pocus. All of it though. All metaphysics, you know. So she kind of just like brushes it off. But the truth is, when you talk to her and ask her questions about why she feels that way, the bottom that you get to is that she's afraid. She's afraid of even learning about these things will send her to hell. So first and foremost, technically, if you have an Aquarius, they're generally interested in this kind of thing, at least a little bit. You know, I've been interested in astrology since I was a baby. My mom gave me this comb when I was like maybe 3, and it had Aquarius on it, and it had the symbol for Aquarius and the dates, and it had a couple of our characteristics on it. I love that comb. My sister had one that said a Capricorn, and she had one that said a Capricorn. I loved it. I had a belt that said Aquarius and these funky colors, you know, and I was like 2, 3, 4 years old when I had these things. So it was something that always interested me, and I just became more interested as I got older. But also, look, my nurturer, my mother, was open to it. So it was easy for me to do that kind of thing. Somebody whose nurturer is not is going to be a little bit more difficult, even though Aquarius are rebels and will break away, will break away in a heartbeat. So it depends on the Aquarius. But it's very common for Aquarius. It's very common for Pisces. Pisces are into spirituality. They're also very intuitive. A lot of them are very empathic. So a lot of them are able to like do mediumship and channeling. So a lot of them are into spirit and spirituality as well, of different kinds. You know, they could be anywhere on the spectrum, but they're usually into some form of spirituality. Water signs in general really are, because I was getting ready to say Scorpio as well, and Cancer. So water signs in general, because of the water, the element of water is said to be psychic. It's said to be psychic. It's said to be intuitive, you know. So when you're dealing with the element of water, a lot of those people have these feelings. They have empathic feelings, and they get into this kind of thing trying to figure out what's going on with them. Why do I feel spirits? Why do I have these strange feelings? Why do I know things that other people don't know? Why is it when somebody hugs me, I can feel their emotion, and I often take it on? And they're angry and I'm angry. They're sad, I'm sad, you know? So a lot of water signs, they have these abilities. So they get into this kind of thing by trying to figure out themselves. A lot of them have mediumship abilities as well. They get into this trying to figure out themselves. So it's common to see a Cancer, to see a Scorpio. A lot of Scorpios are into this kind of thing. A lot of Scorpios are into witchcraft and paganism. I've talked to a lot of them that do like spell work, candle magic, things like that. So water signs and Aquarius are typically very into this kind of thing. Also Virgos. Virgos have a tendency to be into metaphysics from an intellectual standpoint. They find it to be fascinating. So they like astrology, they like numerology, they like some of the more intellectual kind of things. And they will get into some of the other ones too, but the intellectual ones are the ones they have the tendency to be gravitating towards the strongest. So those are the signs that are more likely to be into astrology and metaphysics. Other signs may be into it as well, because it depends on what's going on with their chart. There's certain houses that are specifically outlined for spiritual type things. So some of the other ones could be into it. You could very easily find a person who's, for example, a Capricorn who's into metaphysics. It's just not usual for their sign. The ones I said are the usual ones. Those are the usual suspects. If you come across them, they usually and I keep saying that word because I want you to know it doesn't always happen. You're going to run across people of both signs, of both sides of the situation, and you're going to be like, where do you fit in? You don't fit in here. You're going to meet Capricorns who are into astrology. You're going to meet Aquariuses who not into astrology. You're going to meet a Pisces who's not into spirituality. You're going to find them, but it's not as common. If I talk to 15 Aquarius, out of that 15, at least 11 of them know about this kind of thing. The other ones might not know anything, might not be into it at all, may think it's hocus pocus, but I bet you 11 of them will. And that's what the thing about it is, that it's just common. So at least that gives you kind of a clue, like you'll kind of know amongst your friends which ones may or may not be the most open. But you really, to find out, have to look at their entire chart. Because like I said before, you could have a sign that, like for instance, a Taurus, who's not typically into that kind of thing, but they may have some things in it, like I said, from nurture or from their houses that does make them into it. I knew a Taurus who was very afraid of spirit and spirituality, very afraid of metaphysics. She was more open to Christianity than she was open to anything else. But her grandmother was very open to it and did teach her some remedies, some like healing magic, a little stuff, not a lot. So she did know a little something and was open to a little, but she wouldn't take it very far. So like I said, that nurture plays a strong part in this, and also the other placements in your chart play a strong part as well. So those are the signs that are more likely. I'll say them again. Aquarius, water signs, and Virgo are the most likely. But it really could be anybody based on what's going on in their chart. But usually, if I meet one of those signs, it's for a reading. It's for a conversation about metaphysics. It's usually something along those lines. Okay? I hope that helps. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. If you would like to send me a donation, I'll drop my PayPal. If you would like to get a tarot or an oracle card reading, I'll drop my email. Email me for an appointment. If you'd like to hit me up on social media, I'll leave my Facebook and my Instagram. And that's it. If you would like to ask a free general question, you can email that to me too. Now, please give this video a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who might like it. See ya.